You do not want an elite task force of dolphins in Kim Jong's hands. That is just a recipe for disaster. Once the Dolphins here, they find the mine like Minesweeper, a game that I still do not know how to actually play. If somebody knows how to actually play that, leave that down in the comments below. Because to have been sold to Iran in 2000. So now Iran has a fleet of Russian-speaking dolphins. I wonder how that worked. I wonder what the language barrier was like, and if Iran had their own dolphin fleet already pre-existing. Ladies and gentlemen, I know for, at least in the past, it's been hard for me to sleep at night, knowing that frankly, the U.S. has a nuclear stockpile that's somewhere in the ballpark of 5,000 to 6,000 nuclear warheads, and just an incident with a single one of those could set us on the path for the deletion of the entire human race. However, now I sleep pretty easy knowing that 25% of which is guarded by an elite team of militarized dolphins. And not just dolphins, but sea lions as well. Of course, I'm talking about the U.S. Navy Cetacean and Pinniped program for training our watery mammalian friends to save us from evildoers across the globe. Without further ado, let's hop on into this article here by military.com that gives us a brief little overview of this program. Situated just 20 miles from Seattle, Naval Base Kitsap houses America's most powerful and secret deterrence, a weapon that is the first line of defense for U.S. national security. U.S. Navy Dolphins. Since 1967, the Navy has been training dolphins and sea lions and probably other marine life. Who knows? Could be some sharks with laser beams on their heads. Could be some turtles like Crush from Nemo. I'm sure Crush from Nemo was actually a member of the U.S. Navy. He was not a Navy SEAL, because the SEALs are the Navy SEALs, but he was a Navy turtle. Anyways, back on topic here. Since 1967, the Navy has been training dolphins and sea lions, probably other marine life, for military applications such as mine clearing, force protection, and recovery missions. The U.S. Navy Marine Mammal Program deployed military dolphins as early as the Vietnam War and as recently as the 2003 U.S.-led invasion of Iraq. When protecting harbors and ships from mines, as they do at Naval Base Kitsap, the Dolphins use their extraordinary biological sonar to detect hazards beneath the surface, whether tethered to the seafloor or buried beneath sediment. So I guess they're going around, they're using their echolocation, that's an absolute perk right there. I mean, God, why didn't you, let's talk to the big man upstairs. How come he didn't give us any of that echolocation action? Sounds pretty sweet to me. But I'm getting off topic once again. Continuing on, if a mine or other weapon is detected, the dolphin returns to its handler, who gives the animal a buoy to mark the location of the device on the surface. Passing ships know to avoid these markers, while Navy explosives ordnance disposal divers neutralize the threat below. So basically, the way I'm understanding it is once the Dolphins here, they find the mine like Minesweeper, a game that I still do not know how to actually play. If somebody knows how to actually play that, leave that down in the comments below, because I'd love to become a Minesweeper like my idol Dolphins here. Maybe I could join the program if I'm able to clear that. I don't even know what the requirement is. Perhaps you need to clear it on the hardest difficulty, or perhaps you just need to get through the very basic one, the easy mode. I don't know. I'll have to ask some of these Dolphins what it took to join the program. But I have to assume that as a precursor to the program, like they're trying to weed out, they're most definitely trying to weed out the Dolphins and the Sea Lions who aren't quite up to snuff. So Minesweeper, at least for the Minesweeping team, that would make the most sense. And obviously it comes pre-installed on most Windows devices. I think, I'm not sure off on Windows 10 or 11, but of course, the U.S. military is probably back on a more stable release, such as Windows 2003 or Windows 7. But that's speculation. I'm not a member of the military, and I wouldn't know myself. But the United States isn't the only country known to train marine animals for these kinds of missions. Its sea mammal mission only became public knowledge in the 1990s. However, the Soviet Union trained dolphins for similar harbor protection. After the fall of the USSR, the program was said to be in limbo, and the Soviet-trained dolphins are believed to have been sold to Iran in 2000. So now Iran has a fleet of Russian-speaking dolphins. I wonder how that worked. I wonder what the language barrier was like, and if Iran had their own dolphin fleet already pre-existing, and what that sort of culture shock was like when you have the Russian dolphins and the Iranian dolphins meeting up and trying to work on the same team. From the space race, you can obviously tell there was a lot of difficulty overcoming that language barrier in the International Space Station, for example. And I'd have to imagine that the integration of two very distinct cultures and two very distinct dolphin teams within this Iranian merger back in 2000, it must have been difficult indeed. Russia is said to have been looking to update its training program and may have even used them in Syria. Satellite imagery near the North Korea city of Nampo. Oh, I don't like where this is headed. Sounds like Kim Jong has his own fleet of dolphin, his own dolphin army, if you will. And let's continue on here. Satellite imagery near the North Korea city of Nampo has revealed what look like to be dolphinariums in the Taedong River, meaning North Korea may have a dolphin-based anti-infiltration plan of its own. Yikes. That's not what you want to hear. Kim Jong-un already are forced to be reckoned with. This is the man that scored an 18. He scored an 18 playing a round of golf. He hit a hole-in-one every single time. That's the type of elite player that we're talking about here. And could you imagine this sort of man with his own dolphinariums on the Taedong River? I can only hope that this is just pure speculation, that they made a mistake, that perhaps U.S. intelligence is wrong, because you do not want an elite task force of dolphins in Kim Jong's hands. That is just a recipe for disaster. Why have there been so many rumors about the program? Several decades of classification of the program's true missions led to media speculation and animal activist charges of dolphins used as offensive weapons, claims that could not be countered due to the classification. A popular movie in 1973, The Day of the Dolphin, reinforced those ideas. Since declassification, though, of the program in the early 1990s, the Navy has repeatedly and openly shared the story of its marine mammals and their missions in the media. But rumors are not easily forgotten, and there are those few who continue to actively promote them. Offensive weapons. They are denying that these dolphins and sea lions could be used as offensive weapons, but also this is the military and this is their own website. So coincidence? I think not. Is it a possibility? I mean, I don't want to add on to the rumors, but if North Korea is doing it, You have to imagine that the U.S. is training them for some combat scenarios as well. Anyways, I think that about wraps things up. Thanks for tuning on in, and we'll catch you next time. Adios, amigos.